So you have aspirations and you have goals, yet you're still feeling like you're stuck and not going anywhere. Well, let's talk about this in this edition. I know that you have big plans and big goals and big dreams. And I also know that you remember how in the past you've also had the same goals and dreams. And you had the same plans to leave the line of work that you're doing to do bigger and better things. Yes, I know that you have also put in the effort to learn. You've bought books and you've taken notes. You've heard audiobooks and YouTube videos about this situation that you want to be in. And you've heard a lot of motivational audios and videos you've seen. And you're almost at the point of making the jump. And I want to encourage you to still do what you want to do. You don't have to be stuck there forever. I know that you can still remember all those times that you told your wife or you told your friends or you told your girlfriend or boyfriend, I'm going to do this, I'm going to jump, I'm going to change my career, I want to be better off than I have been before. And you were very sincere and determined to do it. But then again, you allowed time to pass, you hesitated, you waited a little bit more, and you wanted to learn a little bit more and learn a little bit more and perfect yourself a little bit more and find your voice and try to be perfect before you even make the jump. And before you know it, a whole year passed and you're there wondering like, what happened? I was just in this situation a year ago and I have not yet improved. My situation is still the same. I'm still doing the same thing. My dreams are still in the back burner. I never wanted this to happen. You need that motivation to get you going. And when you remember the past like that, and you say to yourself, wow, you know what? I say a lot of things, but I don't do them. And you say to yourself, this is just who I am. I'm somebody who says things, but I don't do them. I used to have the practice, a bad habit of repeating my failures a lot. And I used to have the habit of just having this guilt about me all the time and having to sort of confess, the things that I used to do and focus on the bad stuff. And that was very, very unhealthy, emotionally unhealthy, for me to be focusing on all the negative traits about me and speaking as if I was worse than dirt. And that had me feeling low and guilty and very codependent. Not in a place of empowerment. And I was not in a place where I can have success and I did not have that advantage of having a right mindset that would move me forward. That was then, but this is now. But even now though, I learned this, and you should know this too. Dr. Dispenza, who speaks about the subconscious mind and other things as well from a scientific point of view, he said that what you say to yourself, your inner thoughts about yourself, what you say to yourself about yourself, your brain hears that and it starts to work in that direction. Therefore, if you say to yourself, or you're complaining in your heart, in your mind, I guess you could say, that, oh, I'm always about just making noise. I always talk, but I never do this. I'm always saying this, but I never take action. And then you tell your friends the same thing, and you tell yourself that as well. And you start having this story every single day. And you know what happens with repetition? When you repeat things to yourself, you start to believe those things. That's what the mind does. It takes repeated information, and it starts to believe it more and more and more. And suddenly you start to believe that you really can do that, and you start to believe that you really are this kind of person that is just stuck all the time. And therefore you, in a sense, cut your wings and you stop yourself from taking flight. What co-pilot and pilot, right, in the airplane would, in their right mind, take off without knowing if they had their engines attached to the wings? They're not stupid. They're not going to fly without wings, but there's things and components of the engine that if they are missing, they wouldn't even dare take the flight. But yet, here you are cutting yourself off if you are giving yourself discouraging thoughts and telling yourself discouraging tales. Albeit, even if they are accurate, you still see it from a negative point of view. And therefore, you form in yourself a negative self-image. We talked about this already with Dr. Bob Proctor's assessment of how we have our mindset and our self-image and how that affects our decisions. Remember this, guys. What you think about most becomes your desires. And what you desire becomes your actions and your activities. And your activities attract and draw things to you. And that becomes what you surround yourself with in your circumstances. Therefore, if you are thinking negative things and you're having negative thoughts all the time, well, you're going to have desires that are corresponding with your thoughts. And then suddenly you start taking those actions that are negative, and you start attracting negative things such as consequences, bad people in your life, bad relationships, abusive relationships, and you're surrounded by those things all the time. You got to be very, very careful about what you surround yourself with, because those things are going to bog you down and cut your wings and, in a sense, put you at a disadvantage. The word I like to use is it disempowers you. It strips you of your power. So if you have been trying to get out of the rut, and you've been trying to learn as much as you can, but you're sort of timid and afraid to take the action, well, first of all, fill your mind with positive thoughts, with good thoughts. Tell yourself a good story. Rewrite your own history. Think about the future you and how you would want him or her to be. It was Matthew McConaughey who said that his role model is the 10-year-old version, or no, the 10-year-older version of himself. Think about what you want to be in 10 years. Aspire to be that one. Be that successful person. But move in that direction. See, we're talking about blasting off. We're talking about taking off with all your components in place. They all have to be running on all cylinders. Everything has to be firing off correctly in order for you to take action and move forward. And it all starts with a mindset. It starts with your thoughts. It starts with what you're telling yourself. Don't wait to become perfect. Don't wait to have the right name, the right voice. It really just cuts off your time in a sense. It wastes your time, and it sort of makes you miss that window of opportunity to take action. Because by the time you find that perfect name, and you find that perfect niche, and you find that perfect voice that you're looking to have, it might be too late. Your motivation might have already died down. If you feel like taking action now, then by all means take action now. You don't have to wait till everything's right. Do it now. You will eventually find your voice. I was being inspired by listening to insights and observations by Joshua Rodriguez on the book Steal Like an Artist. And I like that idea, and the reason why I clicked on that video to watch was because it would be speaking about how to create content. And one of the things I realized is that right then, you don't have to wait to become perfect in everything in order to take action. Just start right now as you are and start putting out content. Original content doesn't really exist. What I learned in that book is that what you have around you, people have been stealing stuff for the longest time. Just like a chef in the kitchen takes raw ingredients, or in other words, I wouldn't say steal it, obviously, but they buy ingredients. They take in different, flavors and fruits and vegetables and seasonings from all over the place. They might be inspired by someone else's dish, the competition down the street, or something they saw on television, and they like what they see, and so they try to copy it. but then they come up with their own flavors because they add some different seasoning, or they cook it at a different temperature, or they present it in a different way with their own flavor. And suddenly people start eating it and they're like, this tastes really good. And they want to eat that and they want to buy more of that. You see, if you are hesitant to get out there, produce content, steal like an artist. Look at what's happening, look at what's working, and spin it in your favor. I would say take inspiration from different sources of content out there and make it your own. One of the things I liked about what I heard yesterday that Joshua Rodriguez was saying was that, look, why don't you go ahead and write the book that you want to read? And that goes for anything, you know. Make the YouTube video that you want to make. You know, you watch things and you're frustrated with what you're watching because you're like, man, I don't like how he said this, and I don't like how this looks, and I don't like that this and this and that. Well, in that case, create your own content. Make something that you want to see and want to watch. Me, for myself, I make these recordings. You know that I want to hear these recordings later on because they are filled with content that I need to listen to. And so why would I create something that I don't want to learn and grow from? And if I find interest in this, and guess what? There's tons of other people just like me that are interested in the same thing and don't really want to bother with all the, I guess you could say, makeup of a video. Where you watch all these videos and people talking about how your video needs to have the perfect microphone, and your video needs to have the perfect music, it needs to have the perfect effects and the perfect bumpers. And I mean, nothing against it. If that's what you want to do, then go for it. But there's other people that are not interested in these things, and consumers like myself are not interested in this stuff. Like, for example, I really also want to emphasize and recommend Joseph Rodriguez. I talk about him a lot because I resonate a lot with what he's saying. And that's exactly what he was saying also in that video, that there are people out there that are going to resonate with you. Guys, and myself included, you got to understand, just because your stuff isn't perfect, don't compare yourself to other people out there. Don't compare yourself to the top, performer in this vast field. Now, you do want to have a healthy form and sense of competition for sure, but at the same time, if you are discouraged because you're looking around, then don't look around right now. Now is not the time to be looking around, comparing yourself to other people. Everyone is at different stages of their life anyway, so you have to see it from that perspective. But he was saying that, Joseph Rodriguez was saying that not everyone will resonate even with the author, with the original person that made that particular content. Maybe other people will resonate better with you, with how you explain things, with how you say it. I spent many years as a teacher and a preacher in a certain church I used to attend, and I want to tell you that I'm not the original writer of the book. We don't have those original writers of the text with us, but yet there are so many people that still came and listened to me speak about that topic. And there are many other teachers, and they call them preachers, and other commentators who I also would love to read and listen to more than others. So what I'm saying is that your voice is as unique, and don't change a thing because there's people out there that want to hear it straight from you. Has anyone ever asked you a question and wanted your opinion on something? Has anyone ever told you that, oh, I would love to hear you talk more about this? If so, then I believe that you do have an audience out there that is waiting for you. Even if it's just one person, then go for it. There's somebody out there that wants to hear from you, that they need your help in certain area. So be there for them. They want to hear your voice, not someone else's voice. And the neat thing that was spoken about, Joseph Rodriguez, I don't even know how long ago he recorded it, maybe a year ago, this particular insights and perspective on the book Steal Like an Artist. But he was saying how people resonate with you better and they understand things better with different views, with different personalities and people speaking about it. And so take that to mean give it that meaning that you can take action and you can move forward. Just gotta start putting out content. And obviously, if you see that people are not picking up on certain things and they're liking other things that you do, then of course you can calibrate it. You can adjust certain things to better suit and serve your audience and help them in a better way. Obviously, you want to have an open ear and listen to what they're telling you, of course, so that you can improve your services and improve your techniques. So be encouraged to get out there and start doing something. And something else I want to share with you is, again, listen to the right people. In this digital age, of course, we have, our group, our friends, you could say, companions. There is a old proverb that says that a companion of fools will suffer harm. I believe that, and I believe that to be true in any case. A companion of fools will suffer harm. And what I believe fools to mean is those that discourage you and disempower you, those that hold you back and instill their bad habits upon you. You do want to watch your company, and you do want to watch what you are taking in. And like I said, in this digital age, that can also mean the videos you're watching on social media, the friends you're following or you're communicating with. If those kind of people don't encourage you and push you to your limits and encourage you to do the next task and to help you to expand your techniques and grow your art and become more eloquent and more successful in your niche or whatever you want to do, then I would suggest you watch and even cut off relationships that are, in a sense, cutting you off from what you want to do. Fill yourself up with good companions. And so yesterday, I was listening to Joseph Rodriguez talk about how to, in a sense, not steal from the artist itself, but themselves, but you can still learn from the artist. You can interview them, look for successful entrepreneurs or even people in your field that have success in an area that you want to be successful in. Hey, it would not hurt for you to ask them questions about their job, about their mindset. Now, some people might not want to give away their secrets to you, because that's just something they keep to themselves. But at the same time, you don't want to sort of come across, if you do, let's say, sit down with them and have lunch with them and you want to pick their brain, you don't want to obviously put them in an uncomfortable situation where they're feeling like they have to give you all their secrets. But at the same time, you do want to, in a sense, I want to say, flatter them, or at least make it worth their while by letting them talk about themselves. And you specifically, if you get down to talking with them, you want to ask them these types of questions about, like, what is their mindset? What do they think, or how do they react when such and such thing happens? How do they see certain things happening? What kind of meaning do they put to these things, and how do they respond when certain situations occur? Obviously, you want to tailor those questions to help you in your situation. But I'm saying, though, this is all tied into your mindset. You want to surround yourself with these people that are going to actually help you in your situation to get you moving in the right direction and inspire you to take action and move to the next level. But at the same time, when you want to sit down with them and talk with them and ask questions that are going to help you to proceed to the next level. But if you do watch videos on YouTube, I would recommend you watching some inspirational materials. I like watching some of Will Smith's motivational talks, but I also like to watch, like Joseph Rodriguez. He does book reviews. I'm sure there's many others just like him that do the same thing. I was watching Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson from Evan Carmichael's Top 10 Lists, which I also recommend. He's got a lot of good material, a lot of curated content there. Find things that are going to help you out, push you forward, and inspire you, not waste your time. And so Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, he focused on a couple of things that I just want to point out to you here. Again, this is all to motivate you and push you to the next level. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson was a very successful wrestler, As a matter of fact, as a child, as a kid, I remember watching the WWF and watching The Rock, and I loved, I remember being in 7th grade, 8th grade, I had this, what they call a trapper keeper. I don't know if that's what they call it nowadays, but it's one of those zipper binders. You put all your homework in there, your little textbooks and stuff, and you could kind of walk around with it. Well, mine, I don't know, for whatever reason, I guess that's all we could afford. I had a Houston Rockets red binder. I can't believe it. I should have put the Chicago Bulls. I should have had one of those there. I don't know why I had the Houston Rockets, but I remember that vividly. And I remember sitting in my classroom, just so enamored with all the wrestlers, like Stone Cold Steve Austin, Bret the Hitman Hart, D-Generation X. You remember all those wrestlers back in the 90s. And one of my favorite ones, obviously, was The Rock and the Brahma Bull. The Brahma Bull. And I remember sitting in class in 7th grade, drawing on my trapper keeper the Brahma Bull. And I was really good at it. I think he's got a tattoo. But nevertheless, all of that's just on the side. I was just having a little reminiscing time. But a little bit nostalgia, you could say. The Rock, he left wrestling, you could say, at the apex of his career there. He could have continued on. But he's one of those individuals that I want to pay special attention to because he's driven. He's a driven individual that no matter where you put him, he's going to be driven to be the best that you can be. I mean, just look at his body. This is one of the things that inspires me to continue to go to the gym. I love how the physical body, you can put hard work into it and you're gonna see results coming out of it. Some results that are gonna be very nice to look at eventually, right? That's how I want my body to be. But not only that, the body represents, I would say, an inward reality. The more internally you are growing and becoming more strong, I want my physical body to look the same. If I'm big physically, it's because I'm big mentally. I mean, for me, that's a motivation to go to the gym. That I want to sort of manifest physically in my body what is happening inside of me mentally. For me, that's just one of the motivations. But back to The Rock, Dwayne Johnson. He went into acting, being the individual that he is, being the driven person that The Rock is. He went into acting with the mindset of, I'm gonna come in here and I'm not going to allow just the fact that I'm the wrestler, that I'm the Rock. I'm not gonna ride on those coattails. I'm gonna make a name for myself as a good actor, not a good enough actor, but a good actor. So he said that when he went to Hollywood, he studied up and down, in his own words, every aspect of the acting career. And he worked on his craft so much that he became a good actor. Not a good actor, but he was really good. He is really good. And he's doing a lot of things, even right now on social media. And not only that, but guys, he's really well spoken. Like I said, I really recommend, if you want to learn how to communicate better, hey, again, find yourself some companions in your inner circle. Obviously, find people around you that are successful. I would even venture to say, reconsider those people that are not improving your life, to not have anything to do with them anymore, but invest and put time and effort into relationships that help you. But when you do go into the online world, find yourself with those types of videos and follow men and women that are inspirational and are well spoken, I would say, those that inspire you to be the better form of yourself. So with that said, be inspired to take action. Don't wait for the perfect moment. Take action today. Take action right now to do what you want to do. Improve every single day. Just like me, I have every single day sort of like a quota of highlights, that even though I am on the road often, a lot, most of my day I'm on the road, that does not stop me from taking notes. I am listening to inspirational audios, and I carry with me a recorder so that when an opportunity, an idea, a thought comes up, I am not at a disadvantage, because obviously I cannot write, but I can, with my voice, record my voice and record notes. And so my quota personally is to have at least about 30 highlights that I take in. In other words, 30 new lessons, 30 new insights or observations, new understandings that I got from that day. And then what I do, at least for me, after I record those notes, transfer them to my phone, and from my phone I play them back as an audio, and the next day I'm listening to the recording. So not only do I hear them the first day once, right? I learn from hearing, number one. Number two, I say them into the recorder, so I learn again because I'm speaking it in my own language to my own self. And number three, I listen to it after I go to sleep and wake up. So in my mind, as I'm sleeping, as you already know, your mind is in a sense recalibrating, reconfiguring, and storing lessons learned into your